In today's video, we're uncovering the biggest shift in chronic kidney disease, CKD, treatment history. For years, certain foods were unfairly banned from the renal diet, especially those high in potassium. But what if I told you these very foods could actually help your kidneys? Today, we're going to challenge the outdated thinking around potassium and show you how it could become your biggest ally. Your diet may be silently damaging your kidneys not because you're eating too much, but because you're not eating the most important thing, potassium from fresh fruits and vegetables. Once you hit 60, kidney function naturally begins to decline. But what many people don't know is that a diet rich in plant-based potassium can help regulate blood pressure, reduce the burden on your kidneys, and prevent damage to the small blood vessels inside. Unfortunately, more than 90% of older adults don't get enough potassium every day, even though making a few small changes to your diet can significantly improve kidney function and prevent chronic disease. One groundbreaking study followed stage 4 CKD patients who managed to stop disease progression and, in some cases, even reverse it by shifting to a more alkaline diet. And do you know what foods are the most alkaline? That's right, those high in potassium. Potassium is one of the key nutrients that helps alkalize the body. In fact, for many people, increasing potassium-rich foods not only supports kidney function but may even help lower serum potassium levels. Be patient and read until the end of the article, because you will be surprised. It is no coincidence that the rare cases of reversing chronic kidney disease, CKD, are often associated with a food that ranks number 2, the one we were once told to stay away from. But in fact, this very food has helped improve glomerular filtration function, reduce creatinine levels, and restore energy in the elderly after just 4 to 6 weeks. What is worth noting is that more than 87% of people over 60 have never added this food back to their menu. So here's the big question. Why are so many CKD patients still told to avoid these foods even when they don't have high potassium levels? Sadly, much of the guidance online is outdated. For instance, the VA's website still advises limiting potassium-rich foods, even though current CKD guidelines say the opposite. According to the DOKI clinical guidelines, our most trusted source, potassium-rich foods need not be restricted, as they offer additional health benefits for people with CKD. Misinformation like this continues to cause confusion and may harm patients who could benefit from a better approach unless they stay informed, like you are right now. So in today's video, we're shining a light on 7 powerful foods that were once considered off-limits but are actually great for your kidneys. We'll talk about their benefits, who can eat them safely, and why it's crucial to consult your doctor before making any dietary changes. And if your potassium levels are already high, don't worry, we'll also explain why diet is rarely the root cause and what you should do instead. Let's begin with the first of these 7 surprisingly kidney-friendly foods. Number 7, red potatoes. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood foods in the kidney world, potatoes. For years, people with kidney issues were told to avoid them, but it's time to set the record straight. Red potatoes, in particular, are not only safe for many CKD patients, they're incredibly healthy when prepared the right way. Beyond their potassium content, red potatoes are naturally gluten-free and, when cooked and cooled properly, are surprisingly low on the glycemic index. But their real superpower? Resistant starch. This unique type of starch isn't fully digested in the small intestine. Instead, it travels to the large intestine where it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, helping to improve digestion and overall health. Studies show resistant starch can help reduce insulin resistance and support better blood sugar control, 2 major concerns for people with kidney disease. Among all potato varieties, red potatoes have one of the highest resistant starch contents, especially when they're boiled, chilled overnight, and eaten cold. It's a simple trick that supercharges their benefits. And speaking of benefits, why are potassium-rich foods like red potatoes actually good for you? Potassium is a vital nutrient that most people don't get enough of. In CKD patients, higher potassium intake, under medical supervision, is linked to lower blood pressure, less inflammation, reduced kidney scarring, better acid-base balance, stronger bones, and even a lower risk of heart disease. And this is just the beginning. There are more powerful, kidney-friendly foods coming up next. Next up, bananas. Bananas have long been the poster child for potassium. It's the first food most people think of when potassium is mentioned. But here's something surprising. Recent studies suggest we actually absorb far less potassium from bananas than we once believed. Still, this fruit has a lot more to offer than just potassium. Bananas are also rich in vitamin B6, a nutrient essential for kidney health, along with a variety of antioxidants and powerful phytonutrients. If you're managing diabetes, don't write off bananas, just eat them green. Unripe bananas contain a high level of resistant starch, much like red potatoes. This type of starch isn't digested in the small intestine and instead supports gut health and better blood sugar control. Unripe bananas also have a low glycemic index around 42, making them a smart, slow-carb choice for blood sugar stability. Now, let's address the big question: is potassium dangerous for people with CKD? The truth is, potassium was added to the do not eat list without solid scientific backing. Much like cholesterol in the past, it was assumed that high potassium in the blood came directly from high potassium foods. But current research shows the connection isn't so simple. In most cases, dietary potassium has little impact on blood potassium levels. However, if your potassium is already elevated, caution is necessary. That's why it's critical to check your latest blood work. If your serum potassium is above 5.2 milliequivalent/L, it's a sign something else may be going on, and simply cutting out potassium-rich foods won't fix it. The real solution lies in addressing the underlying cause, not just restricting your diet. So, don't be too quick to blame bananas. With the right strategy and awareness, they can still have a place in a kidney-friendly lifestyle. Now let's talk about another high potassium fruit that's been unfairly banned: the avocado. Often misunderstood, avocados are nutritional powerhouses loaded with essential vitamins C, E, K, B6 along with riboflavin, niacin, folate, pantothenic acid, magnesium, and more. They're also packed with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that help protect your kidneys and heart from oxidative stress, a major contributor to the progression of chronic diseases like CKD. Unlike most fruits that are high in carbohydrates, avocados are rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. This makes them especially valuable for people managing both kidney disease and cardiovascular risk. In fact, research suggests that avocados offer protective effects similar to olive oil without causing spikes in blood sugar. That's great news for those with diabetes as well. But what if your potassium levels are already elevated? This is a common concern. Roughly 1 in 5 people with CKD experience high potassium levels. And while it's tempting to point the finger at food, dietary potassium is rarely the true cause. Current CKD guidelines emphasize that before restricting potassium-rich foods, doctors should look for other contributing factors to hyperkalemia such as constipation, uncontrolled diabetes, metabolic acidosis, certain medications, or even insufficient dialysis. These are often the real culprits. So if your potassium is high, your healthcare provider should first check if you're having regular bowel movements, whether your blood sugar is controlled, if you're dialyzing effectively, and if acidosis is being treated properly. Some medications can also raise potassium levels, so reviewing those is key. Once those underlying issues are addressed, many patients find their potassium levels normalized, meaning they can safely enjoy nutrient-rich foods like avocados again, and gain all the health benefits they offer. Next up, cantaloupe, a sweet, refreshing fruit that's more than just a summertime treat. Cantaloupe is packed with potassium and essential minerals, but its real strength lies in its antioxidant content. Since oxidative stress is a major driver of kidney damage, adding antioxidant-rich foods like cantaloupe to your diet can offer real protective benefits. There's another powerful reason CKD patients, especially those with diabetes, should consider cantaloupe: inositol, also known as vitamin B8. Inositol plays a key role in insulin regulation and has been shown to improve glucose in A1C levels, naturally similar to how metformin works, but without the side effects. Just a word of caution: cantaloupe is naturally sweet, so moderation is important, particularly for blood sugar control. Now, let's look at another fruit with a surprising kidney benefit: coconut. Like avocados, coconuts are higher in healthy fats than carbohydrates, which makes them especially helpful for people managing both diabetes and kidney disease. What sets coconuts apart is their unique fat content: medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. These fats are rapidly absorbed and used by the body for energy, similar to carbs, but without spiking insulin. MCTs offer multiple benefits. They may improve insulin sensitivity, support healthy weight loss, and reduce the metabolic burden on your kidneys, making them a smart choice for many CKD patients. You can also find MCTs in supplement form, like coconut oil or MCT oil, for an easy dietary boost. Just remember, coconuts are energy-dense, so portion control is key. And now, we're down to our top 2 picks: 2 incredibly healthy vegetables you might be surprised to learn are not only safe but highly beneficial for kidney health. Number 2, broccoli. Broccoli is, without a doubt, one of the healthiest vegetables on earth. It supports digestion, cardiovascular health, and immune function, and it doesn't stop there. Broccoli has strong anti-inflammatory and cancer-fighting properties, and it even plays a role in detoxifying the body. These detox benefits are especially important for kidney health, as they may help lower creatinine levels and slow disease progression. Thanks to its unique phytochemicals, broccoli helps your body at every stage of the detox process, from activation and neutralization to the elimination of harmful toxins. Just be sure not to overcook it, as heat can destroy many of its valuable nutrients. And now, what could possibly be healthier than broccoli? Our number 1 pick is spinach. Spinach is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. And yes, even though it's high in potassium, I still recommend it regularly, especially now that we understand potassium can actually benefit kidney health. Spinach is alkaline forming, supports kidney repair, and plays a central role in the kind of plant-rich diet that helps stabilize, and sometimes even improve, kidney function. If your goal is to protect your kidneys and improve function, there's one thing you must include in your diet: plant-based carbohydrates. These aren't just any carbs. I'm talking about whole, seasonal fruits, colorful veggies, legumes, and leafy greens. This type of diet is the only one proven in medical literature to lower blood pressure, stabilize blood sugar, reduce cholesterol, fight inflammation, and, most importantly, support kidney healing even in advanced stages. Yet many people still fear carbs, especially those living with diabetes. Maybe you've been told that you need to avoid fruit, potatoes, or corn. Maybe you've heard you need to eat like a carnivore. But the truth is, those recommendations are often rooted in outdated thinking or misinformation. How 120 CKD patients, many in stage 4, saw measurable improvements in GFR, creatinine, and blood sugar levels just by switching to a simple, whole food, plant-based diet. These weren't complicated plans. They weren't starving themselves. They just replaced the wrong foods with the right ones. But aren't diabetics supposed to avoid carbs? It's a valid concern. And I get it, every time I talk about fruit, legumes, potatoes, or corn, I hear people push back. Those are high carb. That's bad for blood sugar. But the truth is, the type of carbohydrate matters far more than the total amount. The biggest problem? The internet. Influencers, TikTokers, and self-proclaimed experts are constantly selling extreme diets, most of which are not backed by science. Take, for example, the infamous Liver King. He promoted eating raw liver, claiming it gave him superhuman strength. But eating raw liver is dangerous. It can cause vitamin A toxicity and even acute kidney injury. In the end, he admitted to using steroids all along. Liver wasn't the secret, it was the show. But the problem goes deeper than just one influencer. The rise of the carnivore diet, often championed by influencers with zero clinical background, is adding to the confusion. On one hand, science tells us to eat more plants for kidney health. On the other, the internet is pushing meat-only diets that can be harmful in the long run. What about keto? Some people swear by it. But most of the claimed benefits of keto come from comparing it to junk-filled Western diets, not to a clean, whole food, plant-based one. In fact, a recent study comparing keto to a personalized low-glycemic diet found that the low GI group lost more weight and saw better metabolic improvements. Here's the truth, you don't need to fear carbs. Especially not the healthy ones. If you have diabetes, the key is to limit refined sugars, processed grains, and high GI foods, not whole, fiber-rich carbohydrates that nourish your body and kidneys. If you want to learn which carbs are best for CKD and diabetes, this video up here, insert Q, is for you. So, if plant-based carbs are so effective, why isn't everyone getting better? Because most people are still getting the wrong advice. The internet is flooded with conflicting information, and many patients are never shown how to follow a real renal-friendly diet. But when they are, the results can be dramatic. That's what happened in our study of 120 stage 3 and 4 CKD patients. By simply switching to a diet centered around kidney-healing foods, they saw improvements in kidney function, some even lowered their creatinine levels. So let's put the carb fear to rest. Not all carbs are created equal. The right ones, like red potatoes, offer resistant starch, fiber, and nutrients that support metabolic health. And here's a tip: if you want to make potatoes even better for you, cook them, then chill them in the fridge overnight. This boosts their resistant starch and lowers their glycemic index, making them a perfect low GI, kidney-friendly carb. It's time to stop fearing the foods that can help you most. Stick with what's backed by research, not by hype. And stay tuned for more videos where we dive deeper into the best foods for your kidneys, your blood sugar, and your overall well-being. Next up, beets. In my view, beets are among the most underrated superfoods, especially for people with kidney or heart concerns. Rich in folate, vitamin B9, beets support healthy blood vessels and help lower the risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney complications. But one of their most powerful benefits comes from their natural nitrate content. Nitrates act as vasodilators, relaxing and widening blood vessels. This makes beets an effective tool for managing high blood pressure, a common issue in people with CKD. In fact, a study involving kidney disease patients showed that drinking beet juice led to significant improvements in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. But wait, aren't beets high in carbs and sugar? Should people with diabetes avoid them? Not at all. While beets do contain some natural sugars, around 4 grams per small beet, this is not the same as consuming added sugars from processed foods. The natural sugars in beets are absorbed slowly thanks to their fiber content, which helps regulate blood sugar levels and reduces the risk of complications like neuropathy and retinopathy. That's why beets, like other high-carb veggies, can absolutely be part of a healthy diet, even for those with diabetes. In fact, recent studies have found that people following a personalized low-glycemic diet that includes healthy carbohydrates actually lost more weight and showed greater improvements in metabolic health than those on a keto diet. So, the message is clear: don't fear carbs, fear added sugars and ultra-processed foods. Whole, fiber-rich foods like beets can help you lose weight, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce inflammation. Speaking of healthy high-carb foods, let's talk about fruit. Despite outdated advice, fruits deserve a place in the renal diet even for those with diabetes. Some of the best choices include berries, especially blueberries. These nutrient-dense fruits are packed with antioxidants that combat oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 key drivers of CKD and diabetes. They're also low in calories and high in fiber, making them ideal for snacking or adding to smoothies. Grapes, particularly dark varieties. Grapes are rich in powerful flavonoids that may help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate kidney damage. Pineapple, while slightly higher in natural sugar and potassium, pineapple is the only major dietary source of bromelain, an enzyme that supports digestion and has anti-inflammatory benefits. Now, let's talk grains, another essential part of a kidney-friendly, plant-focused diet. Whole grains are excellent sources of fiber, slow down carbohydrate absorption, and support gut health. Here are 3 of the best options. Wild rice, one of the healthiest grains for CKD patients. It contains up to 30 times more antioxidants than white rice, is low on the glycemic index, and is rich in fiber. Though it can be pricier and harder to find, it's worth the effort when you can get it. Barley, low in GI and phosphorus, barley is packed with soluble fiber, magnesium, and iron, making it a powerful food for managing blood sugar, supporting kidney function, and improving anemia. It also contains betaine, a compound with anti-inflammatory effects. Just simmer for 15 to 20 minutes and enjoy it as a porridge or salad base. Buckwheat, a fantastic alternative to rice and one of the highest protein grains available. Buckwheat supports heart health, improves cholesterol, and has been linked to lower blood pressure in recent studies. Try it in grain bowls, soups, or as a salad base. If you're eager to learn more about superfoods that truly support kidney health, don't miss the video linked above. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay informed, and as always, God bless you all.